trouble tomorrow. Only take away your peace today. Worry will not take away your pain, your sorrow. Bring it back to the breath and it can all melt away.
Good morning. It's another beautiful day on the lake. It's smooth like glass. So we got to get out there and do some paddleboard yoga. We'll talk about the paddle itself and how to paddle. This is a carbon fiber paddle. I highly recommend a paddle so that you can go further, faster, for longer. So when your friends borrow your paddle, you want to make sure that they don't push off barnacles or rocks with the blade, because it costs you a fair penny, so you want to keep this in good condition. This here is the blade, this is the shaft, and this is the T-grip. When you paddle, you want to make sure that the angle of the blade is facing away from you. And that is because you're standing. So you don't want to have the scoop come out at your feet, creating drag. You want to adjust your paddle to a good arm length. So if I had a regular paddle board that had not a lot of height off the water, like an inflatable has quite a lot of height, then it would make sure that I have a nice comfortable bend in my arm, and it's about this long with your arm overhead, overstretched. A lot of paddles now have markers, so you can always keep putting your paddle at the same height. If you do have an inflatable board, it's nice to have a little bit of extra reach. Whenever you find yourself in the water paddling like this is not a good way to paddle. You want to be able to have a nice comfortable bend in your knees and be able to keep the paddle somewhat at eye level so that your hand is basically doing circles right at eye level. And that's how you'll be able to really fine tune and adjust your paddle height. How you paddle is important. A nice way of checking the proper distance where you should be holding your hands is by doing these cactus arms. So I've got a 90-degree angle in both arms, hopefully. And as you can see, it's a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. And this gives you an optimum placement for your hands. Also, it's important to know that this area here is like sacred space. You want to make sure that you keep the paddle in front of you instead of drawing it towards you, which is a natural inclination. This way, you're creating a twist using your obliques. This is a good way to use your lats rather than these small little biceps. Lats are a lot bigger, they can handle it. And this is where you get your core workout. All right. So the blade goes in with the angle facing away from you. You draw it from the nose to about past your feet and lift up, create that little circle at the top, and dip the blade back in. When you are paddling on your right side, your right hand is low. When you're paddling on your left side, your left hand is low. Generally, you want to keep the paddle aligned with the rail of your board. When you start to paddle out far, you begin to change the direction of your board. So if you want to track straight, do you hear that loon? I love loons, as a matter of fact. So when you want to track straight, you want to keep the paddle close to the rail. Okay, let's go have fun. A little bit about paddleboard safety. Just remember that your fin is down quite deep, so it can catch on things like logs. This is Karen. Hi, Karen. She's demonstrating half sail. So if it gets really, really rough, bad, rough conditions, you can definitely get on your knees
and paddle like this. Lower, more stability.
Hi, so here it is, full sail. So this is when the winds are pretty calm, hardly a ripple on the water. As Karen showed us before, this is half sail. And now what if it's really, really windy? What if it's like white cap? What if you're coming in? I like to call this the narwhal, because it's like a narwhal. And here you are. No sail. Wrap your paddle up with the leash. Throw the leash in the water. Yabber dog. Three-legged dog. Low lunge. Anjaniasana. Lizard lunge. Plank. Modified half moon. Downward dog, and on the other side.
Left foot steps forward for Anjaniasana. Inhale, reach the arms up, and exhale, plant the hands down. Come to the outer edge of the left foot, barbing your toes. And inhale, open the hip for a lizard lunge. Come down on your forearms and place it back. Your shoulder blades against your back. Spread your collarbones away from your sternum. Press your front thighs towards the sky. Lift the base of your skull away from the back of your neck and look straight down to the board. Place your knees back onto the board, pivot on your right knee so that your shin is parallel to the short end of what would be your mat, and hook your right foot on the edge of the paddle board and lift up for modified half moon. Step it back to downward facing dog. Walk the feet to the middle of the board. This stabilizes you for your forward fold Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, find the back of your heels here and sit down low for a chair. Beach chair pose. Inhale, reach the arms up, sit low, and exhale, hands come to heart center to mountain pose. Nothing better than looking at actual mountains when doing mountain pose, and find your way to your belly for suntan pose.